this season had to be so cruel to every NFL team just about with these injuries. You can add the season enders with Patrick Mahomes just this past Sunday, Micah Parsons, and Ravens rookie linebacker Teddy Buchanan. Mahomes had an ACL and LCL tear, Parsons had ACL tear, and Buchanan had an Achilles tear. And also Devontae Adams is getting hurt. Unfortunately for my fantasy team, it won't matter because, I did lose my first round game in the playoffs. At least I put up a bigger fight then than I did in 2019. But enough about me, let's get straight to the NFL. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm the Grizz, and we got the Monday night reaction along with taking a look at some NFL Reddit news for today. Never usually do that, but hey, we're doing it today, so there you go. You are enjoying this series, make sure you give this a big thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Helps the channel a lot. This is the Grizz as always, and without further delay, let's get straight to it. Of course, you take a look at the Monday night game. From what I've seen, it was a complete disaster. Steelers end up beating the Dolphins 28-15, which means they're one win away from Mike Tomlin having another winning record for a regular season. He's been coaching the Steelers for like 15, 16 years. Steelers went up 28-3, and then the Dolphins scored 12 points in the fourth quarter, but that was a garbage time. By then, it was too little, too late. As far as the actual game goes, Tua was surgical, 22-28, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He actually did struggle in the first half. Devon Achane actually had 127 all-purpose yards with no scores. Those touchdowns went through Darren Waller. So Darren Waller is good. And then other than Tyrell Dodson and Jordan Brooks, the defense was pretty laughable at best. I mean, this unit did get 3 sacks, and even including one from Georgia Tech player Zeke Biggers, but that's pretty much all the positives from this Dolphins defense. As for the Steelers, also surgical was Aaron Rodgers, 23-27, 224, 2 touchdowns. Running game got 2 scores from 2 tight ends. Not even for the running backs. It was basically the 2 tight ends, Jonnu Smith and Connor Hayward, who got rushing touchdowns. RIP Caleb Johnson's magical rookie run. You had a good ride. Enjoy the UFL. And as for receiving touchdowns, DK Metcalf led receiving with 3 catches, 55 yards and a score. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling had a score as well. 4 sacks and an interception by Asante Samuel Jr. in this game for the Steelers defense. Patrick Queen, 9 tackles as well. This defense controlled the game from start to finish and never relinquished the lead. Once they got the lead, for 45 minutes pretty much, they always held it. Another cold game from Miami means another L, and now the Dolphins are out of the playoffs. If the Chiefs are out of the playoffs at 6-8, so will be the Dolphins. Thanks, Steelers. You got me to 10 wins this week. Now we're going to check out some NFL Reddit stories here. So first off, we got Jets releasing wide receiver Allen Lazard at his request. Allen Lazard was the last of the Aaron Rodgers cult at the Jets when he joined there in 2023, I think. And yeah, this is the end of the era for the Aaron Rodgers cult era. And honestly, good riddance. Like, ever since he went to the Jets, he's been mediocre at best. The guy's season stats, I'm not even kidding you, are 10 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, literally, this is just embarrassing. Like, 2 catches, 13 yards, and a touchdown was literally his best game. Like, this was pitiful. Next up, we got Drake May being 1-12 now when trailing in the fourth quarter. Like, I think this means, like, trailing at any time in the fourth quarter, he is 1-12. That's why the Patriots were able to be 11-3 now, because they've always held the fourth quarter lead pretty much the whole game. For that entire 15 minutes of the fourth quarter, they held the lead. That's why they won games. But yeah, once they give up that fourth quarter lead to anyone, they almost always take an L. That sucks, man. He has only one game-winning drive. Man, rough times for Drake May when he trails in the fourth quarter. This was a little funny because, so apparently against Cowboys defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, the NFC North averaged 37.25 points this season. Let's take a look at those statistics. So their first game against the NFC North was against the Bears. They dropped 31 on Dallas. And against Green Bay, they had a 40-40 tie. And then they also played back-to-back games against the Lions and Vikings, where the Lions put 44 points up and 34 points from Minnesota just this past Sunday. I mean, That is unbelievable. 37.25 points out of all NFC North teams and 39 points in the span of 10 days. Man, fire Matt Eberflus right now. As far as one commentator said, never hire someone that Chicago fired mid-season. And in hindsight, they were right. Now this is also crazy. Steelers now, with that win against the Dolphins last night, have now won 23 consecutive home games on Monday Night Football. Last time the Steelers lost a home game on Monday night was to the Giants on October 14th, 1991. Sheesh! This is a span of 24 years now. Now it's going to be running on to 25. That is an impressive streak that it's going to be hard to beat. At least the Steelers have that going as far as this season goes. So according to Adam Schefter as well, per the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes underwent surgery in Dallas this evening with Dr. Dan Cooper to repair the tear in his left ACL. Mahomes will immediately begin his rehab process. That was quick. He got injured on Sunday. Apparently he tore his ACL and LCL. So the surgery in his left ACL was a success, so now he's beginning his rehab. So you got hurt, brother, and I hope you recover fast. Just for the record, I do not wish injury on anyone. This is also interesting. DJ Moore is on a team with a winning record in a season for the first time in his career, and he has been playing in the league, it looks like, for 8 years. So yeah, he got drafted in the late first round by the Carolina Panthers. I'm very sure he was a Maryland Terrapin before he came to the NFL. So, of course, you got 7-9, 5-11, 5-11, 5-12, 7-10. 2022, he got traded to the Bears in 2023, where he went 7-10, 5-12, and now in 2025 he's 10-4, or at least his team is. That is crazy that you haven't had a team where you won more games than not for 8 years now, and now the 8th year you finally do. I will never forget his cocky punk ass taking off his helmet against the Falcons after he caught a huge touchdown to almost take the lead. But then his unsportsmanlike conduct penalty caused the kicker, Eddie, fuck Eddie, to miss an extra point from I think they pushed about 15 yards, so it was like a 40-something yard extra point. He missed it. Then he went on to miss a field goal in overtime, and we actually won that game. The last time we beat the Panthers was the first game of 2024. The Panthers have won 3 straight now. God, I still hate them for that. Now here's a little interesting fact that is embarrassing for Bradley Chubb, but very praising for this practice squad player. So in his first career start, going against Bradley Chubb on the Miami Dolphins, who was a pretty good player for Denver and Miami. Steelers 27-year-old practice squad player Dylan Cook allowed 0 pressures all game, posting an 86.3 PFF grade. That is unbelievable. And then Bradley Chubb, I'm sorry, but you are completely washed now. A former 5th overall pick, mind you, in 2018. Going back to that 2018 draft. That must have been rock bottom for Bradley Chubb, allowing a practice squad player to not give up a pressure all game to Bradley Chubb. That is wild. Now here's a little something interesting about the AFC North. Going back to that AFC North race. Last 3 weeks of AFC North race. Yeah, it's going to be crazy these last couple weeks. It's going to decide pretty much everything. So right now, the Ravens are 1 game back on the Steelers, but Ravens do hold all divisional tiebreakers against them. Now here's the big issue. Pittsburgh can't be eliminated until week 18 at the earliest. That's when Pittsburgh plays Baltimore. That's assuming if Pittsburgh loses out when they play Baltimore, it could be in everything. But as far as a playoff spot, period playoff spot goes, if they just win 1 game, they're in. Probably. However, here's a little scenario here. If the Ravens win against New England in week 16 and the Steelers lose to Detroit in this coming week, week 17 becomes meaningless for both teams because no matter what happens in those 2 games, it's going to be, winner take all the division in week 18. So if Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens somehow beat New England and Lamar Jackson could just sit out against Green Bay, it won't affect him any soever. However, there is another scenario that might make a Week 17 matchup meaningless as well. If Pittsburgh beats Detroit and Ravens lose against the Patriots and Green Bay on the next Saturday night, Week 16 that's up Saturday night games, it's then the next Saturday when Ravens play Green Bay. Steelers don't have to worry about the Week 17 matchup against Cleveland because Steelers would have already clinched a playoff spot, as in the division title. That could be interesting because Week 17, Pittsburgh plays Cleveland, and it could very well feature Myles Garrett going for the sack record. Keep in mind, Myles Garrett is 1.5 sacks from breaking that said sack record with 3 games left. That is pretty wild about how this AFC North could go. Oh yeah, also, half the implications for that Pittsburgh-Cleveland matchup could be huge for the number 1 draft pick, which is more than likely going to be Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, after leading them to a 13-0 record and the number 1 ranking for the first time in program history. Man, imagine someone do that for Northwestern. Yeah, eventually someone will. But as far as this AFC North race goes, this is absolutely nuts. This is going to be must-watch for all those AFC North fans because last 3 weeks, it should be something special. Yeah, I said Mahomes tore his LCL on his left knee as well because Pro Football Talk reportedly said this as well. Just for the friendly reminder. Also, another thing to look at, Puka Nacua is averaging the most receiving yards per game in NFL history with 93.7. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase are the only other active wide receivers averaging over 80 yards per game with 90.8 and 87.6. Woo! This is why I say Puka Nacua is a demon. I mean, Justice Smith-Njigba is probably going to be the best receiver in the NFL right now, but Puka Nacua averaging 93.7 yards per game. I'm not sure if this is this season or maybe it is this season. But that is an incredible accomplishment if Puka Nacua can keep this up. Go get him, Puka, and they also play the Seahawks on Thursday night. So, Puka, you better drop 100 yards on Lee Domes. By the way, I checked CBS Sports. That game is going to be 47 degrees on Thursday. It's projected to be, but it could change from every day. So keep an eye on that temperature because the Rams struggle when it's below 40 degrees. You were just watching a little clip there. It's a little frozen there, but J.J. Watt reacted to T.J. Watt passing his sack total like a couple weeks ago. I'm going to put the pads back on. This is preposterous. Little sibling rivalry going on. I love it. So a couple days ago, before that Seahawks game, Colts activated Phillip Rivers to the active roster for the practice squad. Yeah, to make his first NFL start in 5 years against Seattle. And he almost won that game too. That's so awesome, man. Says Rivers also now will go for being a semifinalist for this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame to, I'm not sure. To not have to wait 5 more years? That's a little fucked up for someone who's 44 years old and just pretty much took over for a couple games. NFL, how could you do that? And this is something a little weird too. The Green Bay Packers have 5,093 elimination scenarios this week for the number 1 seed at NFL record. I'm not going to look through all of them, but that is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that someone took the time to find this out is actually quite impressive. Like, dude, yo, check this thing out for yourself. Click that, go to NFL Reddit and click that link, or type that link in there and see what's going on, because that is unbelievable. Also, in other news, the Commanders have decided to shut down QB Jane Daniels for the final 3 games, turning his focus to supporting Marcus Mariota, according to Ian Rappaport. Obviously, in my opinion, they should have done this a long time ago. They should have done this when Jane Daniels had that graphic elbow injury, like, you know, when the elbow was like the other way. That's when they should have done that. It seems like Dan Snyder is still here, but he is really not. Final thing I'll discuss is MRI. According to Schultz, MRI confirmed a torn ACL for Packers star Micah Parsons. His season's over. Devastating injury for Parsons, who's been having an all-pro caliber season in his first year with the team. Amen, brother. As far as his past 2 games, it wasn't completely awful, but not completely great. 3 tackles, 2 assisted tackles, and a forced fumble. But other than that, like, he's had 12.5 sacks this season. Every season since he's been in the NFL, he has been a double-digit sack person. Say what you want about the tackles dipping down, I think that his sacks are really what's important here. As far as his NFL accolades go, he was an NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, a first-team All-Pro twice, and a second-team All-Pro once, 4-time Pro Bowler as well. Micah Parsons, if I shoot you any disrespect at any time, I apologize because you are a freaking beast. I think Micah Parsons deserves a lot more respect than he has gotten. Jerry Jones, I hope you're proud of yourself because you got rid of a generational defensive talent that could have really changed your season. You would have probably been in the playoffs this year. You just paid him. But no, he's kicking your ass, and Dallas is almost about to miss the playoffs for a second straight year. And when will these NFL owners know that greed is a deadly sin? It's like they just keep doing it. That'll do it for this episode of Chrissy Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a big that thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizzly signing off for now, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.